Hello, this is SJ Talks from Life coming back at you with another video. Are single mothers better off staying single? It's my question. Are single mothers better off staying single? I spent many years being a single mother. Many years being a single mother. Well, I clocked in about 28 years because I had my kids 10 years apart. You have your kids 10 years apart, you're going to be on the hook for another few years being a single mother. So I was in it for a long time because I had my kids 10 years apart. I messed myself up like that. People don't realize that. There's some drawbacks to having kids that far apart. And that's one of them. He's stuck raising kids, for a little longer period of time. Such a huge age gap. Whereas when they're all close in age, you get them out the way around the same, at least in the same decade. So I did spend a lot of years as a single mother, so I consider myself an expert on the topic. And I've done a lot of videos on here, talking about single motherhood, giving single mothers advice and things like that. I'm an expert. I'm an expert in that and on the subject. I spent many years being a single mother. I was looking at some people's videos, and I look at these different men, men talking on these different videos, always talking about how they don't like to date single mothers, and they don't want to mess with no single mothers. A lot of single mother bashing. A lot of bashing of single mothers goes on, and I hate that. I hate it when people bash single mothers. But in our community, it's really bad. In the Black community, that I really do believe there is a stigma on single motherhood in the Black community. It's a huge stigma. It's a huge stigma because especially since I've been on YouTube. All these, at least over the past 10 years, a lot of bashing and stuff has taken place. Single mothers constantly getting bashed all the time and dogged out, and very disheartening to me. I don't like it, because I was a single mother myself, so I hate that. I hate that. And I don't tolerate it on my channel. However, at the same time, I'm about keeping it real. I'm about keeping it 100 on here. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell it like it is, and sometimes I give single mothers the harsh truth about being a single mother. Sometimes I give some harsh truths because I don't sugarcoat nothing. And if you watch me on a regular basis, I keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 on here, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. And so I've done videos of just giving some harsh truths, and I was watching, like I said, I watched a lot of content where they talk about single mothers, how, a lot of men say they don't want to marry single mothers. They don't want to take on somebody else's kids and all this kind of stuff. I know that when I was a single mother, I desired to get married. And I think it's because I wanted that father figure for my sons. I wanted a mate for me, but I wanted a father figure for both of my sons in the home, and didn't realize that the challenges that it would have been had I gotten married, the challenges that I would have faced had I gotten married, had that happened. It's hard when you're a single mother, raising children by yourself. I've said that many times on here. It's very, very difficult because it's not natural. A woman really is not supposed to be raising children by herself. It's not natural. We're going against the grain. We're doing something that's not natural. So it's not natural. It's very, very, very difficult. I know I struggled for many years, financially, emotionally, sometimes spiritually, physically. I would never recommend any woman becoming a single mother. I would never recommend. I always recommend finding a suitable marriage mate before becoming a single mother. before becoming a mother. Did I say single mother? I recommend securing financial stability, preferably six figures or more, and securing a stable marriage mate, which that doesn't guarantee anything, before. Some women opt out of having children altogether because they don't want to take any chances. They don't want to take the chance of something happening to that man or something happening to the marriage and he walks away, a situation of divorce, and they wind up being a single mother. Some women don't want to take that chance and they just forego having children altogether. I totally support the child-free community. Because I don't blame these women for not wanting to be perfectly honest. I don't blame these women for not wanting to have kids. We living in some hard times, and being a single mother is rough. I will say that until the cows come home. Being a single mother is rough. It's a hard life. It's a hard life, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. Like that one young lady ran into somebody's car, committed, unalived herself and her children. I think she unalived herself and her children. Was it her children? Because she was so depressed. She was struggling and she didn't have any support. And it's really hard when you don't have a support system. When you don't have a support system, it's really hard. It's really, really hard being a single mother when you don't have any support. It's very, very difficult. And I've said that time and time again on here. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. You have to be very extremely strong to be a single mother. You have to be very, very, very strong. And not everybody is up for it. Even some women that's doing it, they ain't cut out for it. Some women that's actually single mothers, they not cut out for it. Some women ain't cut out for it, And the children, when they're not cut out for it, well, no woman is really cut out for it, but some women are stronger than others. This is what I'm trying to say. Some single mothers are stronger. Some single mothers just don't have the emotional and mental stamina that it takes to be a single mother, and then they fall short in a major way, and then the children wind up having to suffer in the long run, and that's the unfortunate thing, because the children, when the mothers fall short, then the children have to suffer, and of course, when the father's not there, when dad is not doing what he's supposed to be doing, mama got to step it up. Mama got to step it up times 10. Yes, it is what it is. It's a lot of that in the black community. When dad ain't or papa's a Rolling Stone, mama gotta step it up. And somebody was saying, I was watching somebody, the Sovereign Queen. I subscribe to a new YouTuber. Her name it's a Sovereign Woman, but there's another one called the Sovereign Queen. And she's also a child-free content creator. And she was like, them kids she's like, them kids gonna always be yours. Even if you get married, them baby. I said, you know what? She right. Them babies gonna always be yours. Ever heard the saying? Mama's baby, papa's maybe. Them babies gonna in other words, she was trying to say, even if you're in a marriage, you're still gonna get the bulk of the responsibilities of raising the kids. How many women have we heard married single mothers? You're still gonna get the bulk of the responsibility of raising the children, even in a marriage situation. So them kids are always yours. They always gonna be yours more so than the father, because you birthed them, you carried them in your body, you birthed them. And women get the primary, even in a marriage situation, in most cases, women get the primary responsibility, most of the responsibility of the children. So, but a lot of single mothers, they find themselves wanting to get married because it's such a rough life. And it's not natural for a woman to be raising children on her own. Of course, it's quite natural. It's only natural that woman would want, if things didn't work out with the father or fathers of the children, it's quite natural that she would want to, maybe possibly get a relationship with somebody else, possibly get married, and have that support in the home, have that male head. You're looking for that male head. You are looking for that male head. That's what I wanted when I was raising mine. You looking for that male head, but it's a lot that comes with that. It's a lot comes with bringing a man into the home, and these are not his kids. There's somebody else. Men. The male ego is something to be reckoned with. Men have an issue with. It takes a special kind of man to raise another man's children and to really love that other man's children. To have love, genuine love, and for that other man's kids, it takes a special kind of man. And those men are rare. Those men are not, those men are hard to find. Those are unicorns. If they're out there at all. But they are out there, but they're rare. 9 times out of 10, a single mother ain't gonna get that. I'm gonna keep it real with you. 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna get that. Because it ain't too many men that's gonna be willing to take on another man's children. And a lot of them say they don't want that. They don't want to take on they don't want to marry a wife, a single mother, because they don't want to take on the responsibility of some other man's kids. So it takes a special kind of man to come in and fully embrace and really have love for your children and love your children as if they're his own. And there's just a lot of things that comes with that, because he is not the biological father of your children, depending on the ages of your children. If they're still little bitties, then they're moldable. They're still moldable. If they're still little bitties and their biological father is not really in their life, they're still moldable. A man can still come in and kind of, become that strong father figure. They're still moldable, malleable. But as they get older, in those formative years, they start getting older, it becomes a little bit more difficult, for a man to step in. And if the fathers are still somewhat in the picture, I know when I was in my relationship, this was when my oldest son, it was just me and my oldest son at the time. And I know when I was in a relationship with my ex, I was so young, I didn't fully understand the male psyche and how it works. And there was a lot of things I didn't understand because I was only in my 20s. I was so young. And there was certain things that he would get upset about. And it didn't help that my oldest son's father was cock blocking. He was cock blocking. That didn't help the situation. And it was just certain things that he would get mad about and stuff like that. And I didn't understand, or he would get upset about. And I didn't understand why, because I was so young. And of course, now looking back, in retrospect, I understand. Because men, it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. It's just something about, being in a relationship with a woman and she got another man's child it's first of all, it's a constant reminder that you was, in fact, it's a physical reminder that you was, in fact, with another man. Men don't want to be reminded of that. They don't want to be reminded of, oh, she was with, this other man, sexually. The male ego is something to be reckoned with. Now, they know if a woman doesn't have children and she's not a virgin, they know that you was with, but unless the man is stalking you, he's history. There's no physical evidence that this man was really in your life because you don't have any children. So you don't have no children by the man. So it's a lot different with single mothers in that aspect. And I just think that's a lot of things that people don't think about. It's like this child is actually physical evidence that you was with this other person. And sometimes that child looks exactly like the father. Like I know my youngest, both of my sons, they looked like me when they were little, under the age of 5. When they're about 2 or 3. But now both of them look exactly like their fathers. Now, I had somebody came into my life when they were teenagers. That would have been a constant reminder of they literally looked exactly like their fathers. So if somebody had came into my life then, they would be looking at them and it would be like looking at their fathers, pretty much. Yeah. So, and that's, I think that's a lot of things that women don't think about. You know, that's one issue, and then an issue. There's a lot of predators out here. There's a lot of predators out here. In a woman, a single mother has to be careful who you gotta be careful who you letting into your home. You gotta be careful who you having around your kids. There is a lot of predators. I did another video talking about that. There's a lot of predators out here, and a single mother has to be prayed up. A single mother has to use discernment. Um, you can't just be letting any kind of men around your kids. As a matter of fact, when you're a single mother and you're dating, it's best that you don't even let them meet your children unless you're going to take that relationship to another level. It's best for them to not even meet your children. You know, I wouldn't recommend. So, I mean, you have to be careful who you allowing around your children and stuff, because there is a lot of predators out here. And that's something that a lot of single mothers don't realize. I'm always talking about decentering men. Even if you desire to get married, it's good to decenter men, because it's not good to be male centered and want a relationship or marriage so bad to the point that you're just willing to settle for anything, and it clouds your judgment. When a woman really, really wants to get married, sometimes her judgment can be clouded, you know, because you want it so bad. And so that's another issue. You don't know who you getting in your house, and men like to flip the script. They always telling us to choose better, but then um men change. They change all the time. They change. They put on their best selves in the dating process or whatever to get their foot in the door. And once you get physically and emotionally invested in them, they flip the script on you. That happens more often than not. Sometimes, yes, there are red flags, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes the man is putting on I like to say, his academy winning performance. He puts on his academy winning performance in the dating process. And then once you get physically and emotionally invested in this man, he flips the script on you. And he turns into something else. So that's what I'm saying. And the chances, the chances of being, particularly a black single mother, the statistics of black women's marital rates are already low. So the odds are not weighing in single black women's favor, or single black mothers' favor to get married. It's pretty, because marital stats is like 30% for black women, all black women in general. So for single black mothers, it's probably even lower than that. I mean, so the chances are that you will get a suitable marriage mate for you, a good, amazing father figure. On top of that, a good, amazing father figure for your children. It's almost, yeah, it's the odds. The odds is not good. The odds is not good. It's not good at all. I gotta keep it real with y'all. The odds is not good. And so, some a lot of times people suggest that single mothers, wait until the children are grown, and then you gotta consider your age and stuff like that. It gets a little harder for women to secure a marriage mate as we get older. There's another set of challenges there, but sometimes, a lot of times, it's best to wait till the children get older, to grown adults grow up to try to secure a marriage mate. A lot of single mothers don't want to hear that. A lot of them don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that when I was a single mother. I wasn't trying to hear all that. But yeah, sometimes, you have to put your children first. Sometimes it's not best to bring another man into the home with your children, especially if they have a relationship with their fathers. And I know a lot of single mothers need that support. A lot of times they need financial support. They need help with the children. um, that's something that their fathers need to be doing. The fathers need to be giving you financial support, your for your children, children emotional support. They should be helping you co-parent and raise those children. Now we all know that's not the case, but um, that's what the biological father should be doing. That's what they should be doing. But we all know realistically that's not the case, because you got a lot of deadbeats out there. But I say it's best. What I say is best that a single mother remains single until the children are grown. Focus on your children. Focus on being the best mother that you can be, raising your children and bringing them up the best way you can. Just do the best you can. If you got a good co-parenting relationship with the father or fathers, that's beautiful. That's great. If you don't, you're going to have to do the best you can on your own. It's just risky bringing another man into the home. I think it's super risky. And then there's a lot of other factors involved. There's a lot of other factors involved in there, of that man being in the home with your children. Would your children be obedient to this person? Will they listen to them? Or and you got to worry about him. You got to worry about him. Feeling some type of way because these are not his kids. And sometimes men come into the home in a step father situation, and sometimes they're abusing the step kids and stuff like that. It's rare to find a man that's really gonna love on another man's kids. Most majority of them are saying, these men are saying they don't want a wife, no single mother. That's what the most majority of them are saying. And it infuriates me when they say they just want to sleep with a single mother. That infuriates me. I tell them in the comment sections, you leave them alone. You leave single mothers alone. You don't sleep with them. You don't do nothing. You leave them alone. That infuriates me when they say that. It infuriates me because at the end of the day, single mothers, we're women just like the rest of the women out there, and we have feelings. We have feelings. We have a heart. We have a mind. We have feelings. Single mothers have feelings, and then if you just sleeping with her and you not being forthcoming, and she catches feelings for you, you're not being forthcoming as to why you're in her life, and you're using her for sex. That's problematic. That's problematic, and that's why I don't recommend. If you don't want to have a relationship with a single mother and you don't want to marry a single mother, leave her alone. Just leave her alone. Don't go to bed with her. You can be a platonic friend to her, but that's it. Because a lot of single mothers are looking for that husband and that father figure. That's what a lot of them are looking for, because who wants to be a single mother? I didn't want to be one. A whole lot of women don't want to be one. Who want to be a single mother? Maybe some women that go to the sperm bank, but even at the end of the day, they probably don't want to be no single mother either. They probably don't want to be a single mother either. Quiet as kept. They just wanted a baby so bad they was willing to do it on their own. But quiet as kept, they probably don't want to be no single mother either. What woman wants to raise children on her own? Ain't too many women want to do that. I didn't want to do it. I don't know of too many women that wanted that really wanted that. But that was the hand they was dealt. So you got to make it do what it do, Like I said, I highly recommend that single mothers wait. Wait until the children are grown, until you try to secure a marriage mate, Unless you find somebody, that rare unicorn man, that's really going to be a blessed husband to you and an amazing father figure to your children. And if you do get married, I recommend that you marry you look to somebody that has children himself. Single fathers should be marrying single mothers. Yeah. But a lot of these single fathers have the nerve to say they don't want single mothers. They have the audacity to say they don't want single mothers. They got their nerve. No, single fathers should be marrying single mothers. And that presents its challenges within itself. That presents challenges within itself. That's it does. Then you got to deal with his baby. If he got more than one baby mama, you got to deal with his baby mamas. He got to deal with your baby daddies. And sometimes it's just a big old mess. So, I mean, that's blended family situations are not easy. Blended family situations can be very complex and very difficult. So this is something that single mothers have to be realistic. Yet at the end of the day, you have to be realistic. And marriage is not a fantasy. Life ain't a fantasy. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. I think the sooner the women realize that marriage is not a fantasy, that life's not a fantasy, and marriage is not a fantasy, I think the sooner women realize that, the better off they'll be. And, I just highly recommend that, single mothers do wait it out, Now, once you get to be a certain age, of course, that's another set of challenges. There's another set of challenges because then you're older out there on the dating market. Of course, that's a whole nother video. But hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that single mothers get married? If they have the opportunity to get married, should they get married, or should they just wait until the children grow up to consider marriage? Hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Men, don't come in my comment section bashing no single mothers. I don't play that. I don't play that bashing single mothers. I don't play that. Y'all know I don't play that. Okay, hit that like button. Shoots the algorithm up to the sky. And until the next video, you guys be blessed.